Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of PoCommunity. On this episode, we welcome Chiara Missalino from Desjardins. Chiara is a facilitator here at TFN. She helps out a great amount, and she's an amazing personality. You'll find out on this episode. And we talk a lot about life insurance and why it's important for young people to think about it. Because in the past, young people never thought about life insurance and the benefits. So check out this episode. It's a good one. Chiara, how's it going today?
Not too bad, Mike. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. You know, Chiara's in the building.
Someone's got to liven it up, okay?
Yeah, Chiara is one of our members here at TFN, actually a facilitator here at TFN. So you help a ton, help out a ton with the business, help out a ton with everything going on here. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to have you on the show. We've been talking about it forever, and for forever. And I'm just stoked that you're finally on. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So yeah, tell us about what you do. I know you're with Desjardins, but what do you do for them?
Well, I'm a sales manager, and I also recruit and train new advisors. So hopefully bring a new blood, fresh blood, you know. So it's keep the dream going.
Yeah. How did you get involved in that industry?
That's an interesting story.
Yeah.
I had two little kids at home, and had gone back from mat leave, and somebody approached us to do our life insurance. And I thought, oh, okay. We actually stood him up the first time. So I understand when people stand me up too, but I get it. Yeah. But anyways, I felt so bad. We had him over, the advisor, and we did our life insurance. And when we were talking, and he explained everything to me, and it made total sense to me. So he actually approached me and said, hey, if you understand it, you should do it. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I can't do this. And I ended up, it worked because I was able to work part-time and be home with the kids and not have that 9 to 5 and worry about who's going to watch my kids at that point. And it just kind of worked out. And then we became really good friends with the advisor and his family, and we're still friends to this day.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when was that?
Over 23 years ago.
Nice. So you know your stuff.
I know my stuff.
You know your stuff. So like, working within that industry,
right.
You got to have some passion towards it.
Yes.
Like you do have to, really, believe what you're selling, especially doing it for that long. Because I know with sales, it can be super frustrating if you're selling something you don't believe in or don't really care about. But I've heard you talking about what you do, and I know how much passion you put into it. So what is your favorite part about the job?
Educating people and showing them what to do. Like when I got into the business, I was so excited. I told my dad all about it, and European background, really staunch, very skeptical. And he goes, "Oh, that good for you." He goes, "But that's only for rich people." And I'm like, "What do you mean that's only for rich people?" And I said, "No, everyone's entitled to financial help and education and life insurance and all of that stuff that goes with it, because you're creating a legacy for your children and grandchildren down the way." So that really motivated me to really start educating people and saying, "Hey, it's for everybody. I don't care who you are, what walk of life, or what background you have. Everyone deserves the financial help to move their family forward and actually build a legacy."
Yeah, and I know one thing, I just know myself, young people don't think about this stuff. They don't think about life insurance. No. They don't think if they're young, if they have a young family. Yeah. They don't think they're near a time where they need to have that protection.
Yeah.
How do you change young people's perspective?
It's a challenge because they'd rather spend the money going out, or if you're a young family, there's other expenses that need to be paid. But really, when you're young, you're looking at paying $50 a month versus $250, $300 a month, and you're not getting the same benefit. And really, life insurance isn't just for when you die. That's how kind of the premise that everyone's gone over the years. But really, if you live, there's products and services that you can set up that maybe one day is your retirement plan. And if you don't need it for retirement, it's a legacy that you can leave behind for your children. And it's still affordable when you start at a young age. So that motto that says a little goes a long way really does. Yeah. It really works in this field.
Yeah, it's something that I think is very necessary. I think in the past, that kind of knowledge hasn't been passed to the youth. It's not something that they train us for, just like schooling doesn't really train them for taxes. They don't train them for any of the stuff that really hits you in the face when you become an adult. But yeah, like, is there more, like, just information out there for people now and just more?
Well, Google is lots of fun, but really reach out to any advisor. To me, it's about educating. I don't charge a fee. If you do business with me, I get paid by the product, the companies that I do business through. So for me, it's more of a passion to educate people and let them know how it works. And I work with them to work within their budget, their goals, their objectives. And some people don't even know that how insurance works. And yes, okay, we buy insurance to protect our mortgage, but did you know that you can buy insurance to protect your health? Like if you can't work, if you're you're a business owner, right?
Yeah.
So if something happens to you, who's going to do your job here?
Yeah.
And you still want to get paid, so you can set up a critical illness. And that's just kind of a simple thing that it pays you a lump sum tax-free money. Like insurance is all tax-free. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Whatever you pass on is tax-free.
Yeah, and like business owners with the stress that they have, definitely have some health crises with the stress levels and blood pressure levels.
Yeah.
So like if you aren't thinking about that and you have a family, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Leaving family with terrible expenses and just in a terrible situation when they've already lost you is not the greatest.
Well, and you don't want them, like they've already lost the key person or a special person in their life. Do you really want to upheaval their whole lifestyle, like move homes, change cities, or you want to keep them in a safe, secure environment where you want to change things as little as possible, right?
Yeah.
And insurance is one way to protect their lifestyle and what you wanted for your children or for your loved ones or your partner doesn't really matter, or people you're responsible for. Like some people are still responsible for their elderly parents. Well, something happens to you, who's going to take care of them?
Yeah.
Because life happens. Unfortunately, life happens.
Yeah, and you really don't know when it can happen. Yeah. It can really happen to anybody
at any time.
At any time. So it's just that extra just protection.
Yeah.
And that extra just it's a better feeling knowing that you're protected. Even like if you don't die, like you said, if you get critically injured or sick,
or you have an illness, like who's going to pay your bills? You're still here. You still have that responsibility, and having that peace of mind that you're still having money coming in to help protect you really does help in your recovery process too, because it's one stress upon stress will create a snowball effect on illnesses. But if you have one stress under control, hopefully it gives you a better leg up to survive and move forward.
Yeah. Have you been with Desjardins the whole time?
I started with Desjardins back in 2009.
Yeah.
So it was after I did a stint with other brokerages. I took breaks here and there, kids, family, life happened, but I've always been through Desjardins. So
nice. What sets them apart?
It's a family. Like you feel like it's really a family embracing company, and their training and I get their ethics is really, really important to me, and they're community minded. They do a lot of community work, and they have a lot of grants that they do for small business owners or business owners. There's a sponsor of the Amazing Race Canada, so they do a lot of community work, and they give a lot back to the community, which to me means a lot, because the more you give back, the more you get. It's reciprocity, right?
Yeah, I know that you are thinking more about doing like more social media posts about this industry, because in reality I don't see much of it out there.
No.
You are very you have a great personality, right? Like obviously super bubbly, super friendly, super awesome. You obviously know that that's something that needs to be done.
Well, the thing is, I find a lot of the posts that are out there or social media, it's sales. They want to sell you something or inform. I just want to inform people, hey, do you know like certain situations and whatnot, like disability? Do you know that your benefits don't follow you if you leave your 9-to-5 job? I have life insurance through work. That's great. Do you plan on being there forever until the day you die? And they're like, no. And I said, well, then do you know that it doesn't follow you? So to have something that you own is a lot better, a lot more beneficial to your financial future and stuff like that, right? So, and there's different, like I said, different products and services, way too many to even talk about now, but they don't all work for everybody. So you have to find what works for your own personal goals and objectives and what you want to achieve with insurance and protection, right? So.
Yeah, and I know like minds get scrambled, like the average person, their minds get scrambled when you throw numbers at them. it's can be super difficult to understand this stuff
Yes.
if it's not explained to them. And it really, thinking about like, let's say you sign up for a credit card with some bank, and you get those minimal like benefits and insurance through them, like travel insurance and stuff. And when you actually read into it, it's usually very little. It's
minimal.
Very minimal, right? But people always think, oh, they're protected.
Yeah.
Is that you get that answer a lot? Oh, I'm protected by this credit card.
The credit card has this, or like I said, I have benefits. I have life insurance through work, or things like that. But my concern is the housing market now. Houses prices are skyrocketed. People have leveraged themselves through the roof. Who's protecting that mortgage? If you're buying your insurance through the bank, you're protecting the bank. Because they own the policy. Something happens, they get paid. And just like there's different, aspects to it, characteristics to owning a life policy through the bank and owning it yourself. You own it. So if you move, that policy, it's yours. You don't have to start all over again. And it's a full amount. So if you're paid half your mortgage and say 20 years and something happens, your family still gets that full balance. They don't get just half. And you get to decide, like, do you want, like if you have a policy, insurance, like ICBC, do you want them to pay you or do you want them to pay out the other person and you get nothing? Yeah. Do you want control over what you're paying for? It's your benefit. You should be able to control it and feel it in your hands and say, hey, I've only got half the mortgage left. It's good rate. I really don't need to pay it all off. Let me just keep making payments. But instead of having initially $1 million mortgage, it's $500,000, but your policy is $1 million. You still get that full $1 million for you to continue, or your family to continue to enjoy the lifestyle that you've set up for them, and know that they're going to be safe. And yeah, they're going to miss you. That the loss is there, but at least they're safe in their own home, and you're not changing something more than the loss of a life.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously a difficult topic, right? Like
it is.
Yet I know you stay positive. Like so how difficult is that?
Not really, because there's certain things that I try to spin it like critical illness. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna. I go, your goal is to stay healthy. You get all your premiums back for savings. Doesn't that sound good to you? Like, but if something were to happen, you have a tax-free lump sum of money coming to you to help you support your family and get over this hurdle. So there's pros and cons. Yeah, it's a morbid conversation. Yeah. But it's, or people say, why am I insuring children? Like, that's a big question. That's morbid. I said, but you're not insuring your children. I go, if you get a critical illness policy for children, that ensures that if something happens to your child, you can stay home and take care of your kid, or you're not, right? You don't want someone else sitting with your child in the hospital or taking care of them. You have that peace of mind that I can take care of my kid. And if not, that's a legacy for your kid to carry on that they can bring on to the next generation.
Yeah. Do they have like family plans at all? Like,
there's not family plans. You can set up like various policies and do like a bundle, certain products and services, and you get a bit of a discount, but not so much a family plan. They're all individual plans. So like say you do one for your son. Yeah. It's when he turns 18, you can transfer it to him. Yeah. And then he can carry on with that. But can you imagine having, hey, my dad set me up for life. I don't have to worry about this now. Yeah. Like it's peace of mind. It's like, and it's a legacy. It's a gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving for it.
It's like a savings account. Yeah. It's like anything that all these parents open up for their children when they're kids.
Well, you set up an RESP for your child to continue for schooling. It's a benefit that helps them so they don't have to struggle so much when they do go to post-secondary. Yeah. This is kind of like moving on in life, like as an adult. Look, I can do that and stuff like that.
Did you start in life insurance?
No, I didn't. My background's accounting.
Accounting?
It's accounting. And just like I said, life happened and I had ailing parents, sick parents, and it was becoming more difficult to work 9 to 5. And then when this opportunity came up and I said, this advisor came and I said, perfect. I can still use what I know. It totally relates to the business. And my own boss, it's more flexibility, and I was able to raise my own kids.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know, like I always hear you talking on the phone.
Oh no.
When you're always working hard when you're working here. Yep. Always, I'll bring it up again, just always passionate and just positive whenever you're talking to anybody. Like, Have you always been just
This bubbly?
yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, growing up, it didn't always work in my favor
Yeah.
because culturally, seen, not heard. And I was always heard. Like,
Yeah.
my nickname was Motor Mouth growing up. So, it's followed me through life.
I'm sorry. I'm only half Italian, but for any Italian to judge any Italian on being like just bubbly and loud
Yeah.
and opinionated hasn't been with many Italians, or just being kind of hypocritical.
It is what it is, right? So it's just, I enjoy what I do, and I like educating, and I think to me, it's passion. It's something that everyone should have, because my parents didn't have, no one talked to them about it.
Yeah.
So when my dad passed, he left my mom with a mortgage, smaller obviously because it was back then, but still it was something that he goes, no one ever talked to me because they said it was for rich people. And I said, so I guess my mission is to educate everyone. It's not just for rich people. Just because if you don't own a house, it doesn't really matter, because you have rent, you have bills, you still have expenses that will continue if something happens to you, and your family I still have to have them. So when people say, I don't have an asset, so I don't need it. Yeah, you kind of do.
Yeah.
One way or another, we all need some form of insurance, some form of peace of mind protection.
Yeah, for sure. Your parents were born in Italy?
They were born, they both immigrated here.
Yeah, so it's the struggle of like that era of East Vancouver, right?
Yeah,
my dad's an Italian guy from East Vancouver. Parents were from Italy. Super. I think it was a time where the Italians coming over were really they didn't have much trust with people trying to sell them things.
No. and really back then, I think the insurance industry really took a bad rap, because like in any industry, you got your good and your bad.
Yeah.
But as time has gone by, like the insurance industry is highly regulated, highly secure. We're totally monitored 24/7. We have to maintain our education so that we can, provide the services that we're giving and talking to people about. And you have to be licensed. If you're not licensed, you can't. And it's a good thing, because we are dealing with people's money and their future, right? So you want to make sure that you're dealing with someone who is reputable and has your best interests at heart.
Yeah. Do you hear, like, I think this is another thing that they kind of teach you as a Canadian from a young age, is that we're covered.
Yeah.
Our medical is free.
Oh.
Once you become an adult and you realize that it's a big old lie, you realize how much health the health industry in Canada costs you. Is there a lot of like plans, not even just for like, is there plans for you that people can get for just not basic benefits, but like just
extended benefits?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can get so you can cover more physio, more dental, more even health services. Like if you're in the hospitalization, like so you can money every day so that it pays for things. There's so much, and even. Like I said, I'm a big proponent of critical illness, because both my parents had a critical illness at a fairly young age. Like my dad had a massive heart attack at 48, and my mom was 36 when she had her first benign brain tumor.
Crazy.
So when people say it's not going to life happens at any age, and anything can really happen. And like, even if you think that government, that our medical covers everything, it really doesn't. Like, even if my mom was going through cancer, not everything was covered.
No.
As much as they say it does, but only basic medication. And if whatever you're going through isn't fully covered, where are you going to get the money from?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to give that extra push that you can, get the proper treatment? Like, only certain drugs are covered. So to have that extended benefits to cover your medication and stuff is totally... It's needed nowadays. It's not like it used to be, because we are surviving critical illnesses more than we did in the past.
Yeah.
And the statistics are pretty alarming of, it's like 1 in 2.2 will get a critical illness.
Yeah.
So we're looking at me and you. One of us is going to get something. I mean, for the most part.
You don't hear natural causes very often.
No.
Right? It's not usually like, you don't rarely hear about just people dying naturally in their sleep. There's a cause behind it, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen some of the healthiest people I know that I've grown up around. You think they're super healthy. They are from the exterior.
Yeah.
And then they're the ones that with insane insanely terrible health issues very young, and like I've lost friends. I've like that, and it's never the people that you think.
No.
I'll even use the example of my dog back in the day. Big fat Jack Russell Terrier, super fat. Everybody always said, "Oh, this dog's gonna die young because it's fat." It outlived. It was like 17 and a half when she passed.
Wow.
And it's just like it's not always what you suspect. It's like you talk to a young, healthy person, rarely do they think about this stuff. They don't think about, if there's not much negativity around them at all, it's always a shock to your system when it happens to you, and you always feel like it can't happen to you until something happens to you.
Exactly. Well, I had a client earlier on in my career, and I went and sat with them, and actually his in-laws were like, please get them life insurance. They need it. They got a young family, they have one kid, they have a house. And I went talking to them, and he was adamant. And I said, something happens to you, don't you want your wife and kids to have the same lifestyle that you've created for them? Oh, no, I don't want to leave the money behind so she can enjoy it with another man. And I'm like, that's not the point. It's to save your, but the irony is that I did their policy with a minimal policy, and then it came back 6 months later that he had a bad illness. He recovered, but now you're uninsurable.
Yeah.
Or harder to insure, and your rates are going to be crazy. But it's that mentality. It's not going to happen to me. I don't need to do it, but it's crazy. I hear so many of those stories. So it just,
yeah, I know. It's right now might be the most expensive time in Canadian history. People not having their dollars stretched very far. How has that been difficult at all with people not having the extra money, even if it's minimal? Like even if you're talking,
it is hard because it's not something tangible that you can feel and touch and actually benefit from now.
Yeah.
Right? So people are living in the now, in the moment. And you're right, it's so expensive nowadays to live.
Yeah.
But I always say start even small, even a term policy, because that's your cheapest, most affordable way of doing it. And then convert down the road to something more permanent, or, we figure that down the road. But I always say start somewhere.
Yeah.
Start somewhere.
Yeah. Like it's the best, information you can really get and advice, because anything is a start. Like, honestly, it's better than starting at zero when you're 40s or something.
Yeah.
If you can start it when you're young, and even if it's it's just like any savings account or just a high interest, or you're playing anything, even if it's $5 a month, it's still something. And it's I'll bring it up again, it's not taught enough. It really is not brought to common people's knowledge. Like, I'm in my mid-30s, and I didn't know much about anything until I opened a business.
Eye-opening, huh?
Oh, it's ridiculous. And it could be such a life skill to be taught to people from a young age, understanding it all, because I think a lot of people sign things not understanding them still. So with this, I'll bring it up again, the social media aspect of what you're doing, where it actually can grab the youth is through this, because reading a contract or listening to the typical, let's say, a bank teller that from back in the day, strict, stern, not a comfortable meeting, and you just feel like you're signing something that even if you read it, you wouldn't understand it. So presenting it in a way where it's just easier to understand is massive, and that's what media and video and just social media has made it easier for industries to start spreading the information out. So that's something I'm excited to see you do more and more of, because I think you're perfect for that kind of stuff.
Well, it's also with social media, you're showing yourself out there and you're presenting yourself. I'm human too. I make mistakes. Nothing, I make mistakes too. I'm not perfect, but show the human side of you. I'm not just a salesperson. I'm actually here to educate you. I want people to learn. I want people to understand that there are different ways to set up your own personal financial plan, right? I mean, I can't forget my saying, but I can't remember. I'm not your financial doctor, but I do your financial recipe. I love to cook and bake. And if you think about it, finances are like following a recipe. Like, you can have your base ingredients and you can play around with some of the others, like to, modify, change, adjust. But you have to have a good core to your plan, so that whatever happens around them, around those core, everything stays. Your plan doesn't really deviate, and you still get to have what you want to achieve, right? So but I'm human. So, and I just want people to realize that I'm human. I'm not a robot. I'm not a machine. I'm really not a salesperson, right? So, to me, it's just that human connection, that building a relationship, I think, is more important in nowadays than, because everything is so automated.
Yeah, and I think it's just modern times are way better about being yourself and presenting yourself the way you want to be presented. Companies are way more accepting. I'll just use an example of, like, as a teenager working at McDonald's, how strict the code was, like when it came to hair color, dyeing it, piercings, tattoos, like you weren't allowed. Now it seems like that's all you see at McDonald's. So it's just like it's just more accepting, and you need people of different like ways of presenting themselves to work in these industries. It's not
because you got to appeal to everyone. You can't just sorry, I'm not dealing with you because this lifestyle. I'm not there to judge anybody. It's not for me to judge. My thing is just to educate and making sure that you understand what you've started for you and your family, because then are you going to come back to me and say, hey, why did I do this? And you want to be able to say, hey, you did this for this and this. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I get it now, right? So that's kind of my objective.
Yeah, that's an awesome way to look at it. I helping out people in sales, it's not looked at enough and it's not appreciated enough because salespeople have always had this bad
stigmatism.
Yes. Yeah. It's something that, like, it just seems like they just want to sell. They don't care about the outcome for the person buying it. It's that used car. It's like it's like a stereotype of a used car salesman. But there's a difference with that between and then the people that sell stuff that they believe in and that they actually are trying to help their customer. So it's always nice to find those people. I think it's finally, people can see through the BS now.
I think so.
You can tell if somebody's that used car salesman style. And sales is not that type of business that evil people get into to just make money and sell. It's just good to see. And it's like really great to know that people within that industry that are fun and just better to be around, because I think in the past the stereotypes of you had to be a certain way if you worked a certain industry.
You had to be, like, not to be prejudiced, but an old white man in a suit. And they'll trust you because you were that male older man. And so when I first started in the industry, that was a hard stigmatism to break, because I was a 30-something-year-old female. You're telling me what? You want to tell me how to do my life insurance? You want to tell me to do my investments? But it's come a long ways, and it's really nice to see, even in our industry, a lot more women being involved and growing. And that was the other thing with Desjardins. They do promote a lot of women. They want women empowerment and stuff, and they have programs to help us. So to me, it's a win-win.
Nice. If people want to contact you, I want people to contact you. Where can they contact you? Where can they find your videos and stuff that you're doing on Instagram?
Well, I'm on Instagram. It's Chiara.Missalino, so CHIARA.MISSALINO, on Instagram and on Facebook.
Nice.
I do have a Clarity with Chiara account, but I think most of it goes on my general account just because it has everything. It has my life, who I am, my children, because I'm a mom of 3. So it's all there.
Nice.
Or my phone number is 604-786-PLAN. So 604-786-7526.
Awesome, Chiara. I love being around you. I think you've been such a great fit too, just within the space and with our, like, I'll say the corny thing with TFN family. Just it's something special that we have going on here. Everybody brings a certain aspect that just works. And since you've joined on and been here, it's been really just. The front desk is very just fun. It's a good place to be, and I appreciate what you've been doing.
Well, I appreciate it too, because it's given me a home where I can go. I don't have to go to my Richmond office. I have, like, something close to home, and it's just a lot more fun. I'm meeting a lot of amazing entrepreneurs and business owners and stuff. So, and working with you and Aaron, it's just been awesome. I love it.
That's awesome, and you can give people, like, a lot of these business owners like myself don't know like squat about. Pretty much anything that they have too much on their mind. in other places trying to run
Yeah.
a business that they don't even think about this kind of stuff. But
Well-
having you around is definitely going to make more of us.
Awesome. Well, speak insurance even for businesses is
Yeah.
it's a little different than for you as an individual. So you can use insurance products and services for tax strategies, getting money out of your business tax-free down the road, or protect. It's just all key protection. So there's just so much. Like I said, it's hard to talk about
Well, it's so
everything.
much
But for
information.
business owners, it's another, it's another way of dealing with your business and.
And you need it. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody needs the security. It's crazy times. Anything
Yeah.
can happen, and it's expensive to run a business. It's even more expensive if you're not there.
Yeah, exactly.
But thank you so much, Chiara. I appreciate
Thanks
you
for having
being
me.
on. It was so much fun. And I'd love to talk more about this.
Thanks. Thanks for making it so easy, because I was nervous doing this.
Yeah,
but
you
it was
can't
awesome.
tell. No, it was you're natural at it. So
Thank
that's why I
you.
say keep pushing on the social media stuff, because I think definitely it will break through to it will break through to young people's minds, in their brains, because it can't be presented the old school way. It's something
You can't. It's just you're not going to reach the people that need to hear it.
that need to hear it. And that's exactly what I think too. So thank you so much for being on today. And thank you all for watching or listening to the podcast today. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment. Let us know what you thought. And if you have any guests in mind that you'd like to see on the show, hit us up. Have a good one.